Hello everybody, welcome to the video. Today we have a Ravens franchise sort of deal thing without Lamar Jackson, and I did simulate all the wins and stuff like that, so the scores aren't exactly what they were, but I did get the right matchups for the conference championship rounds. And yeah, today we're going to be using the Ravens. We're going to be basically playing as the Ravens without Lamar Jackson. So next season, you will not see Lamar Jackson in the driver's seat. We are using realistic draft class as well, or a realistic draft class as well, made by yours truly here. Did not mean to click on scouts, but prospects here: Will Anderson, Bryce Young, Jalen Carter, CJ Stroud, all the top guys through the first 5 rounds. Pretty accurate. I mean, I still have to go through and edit a few things, but it'll do for now. And so let's go ahead and actually skip past here and see who got to the Super Bowl. It'll be the Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Should be an actually interesting matchup. I'm curious who would win this, but let's go ahead and actually look at the yearly rewards here. Patrick Mahomes will win NFL MVP, and Nick Sirianni is the Coach of the Year. I'm not going to go through all that right there. I think that's kind of just a waste of time, all things considered. But who wins? I'm going to guess that the Chiefs win just because it's Madden. So I was wrong. The Eagles actually come out victorious after having a really good season. They don't disappoint, winning their second Super Bowl since 2019. So it's pretty cool. Looking at the 2022 season recap here, you guys see all the offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, rookie rookie people of the year. TJ Edwards actually won Super Bowl MVP. A little bit different, for sure. And yeah, so now we got to move on to re-sign some players, which is definitely interesting because we cannot re-sign Lamar Jackson. So I'm curious who else is here. Obviously Lamar, who actually has interest. It'd be a lot of money to bring him back at 26 years old. Raquan Smith got inked to a massive deal, actually. Got paid like the highest paid linebacker. So I'm going to go overboard and give him a really big contract just so we can do, somewhat of that. Marcus Peters here. They definitely need corner. I mean, they're getting really old there. I don't think Marcus Peters is worth the money. I think that we can find a good one down the board in the draft. Ben Powers. I mean, if he comes on to I guess if he wants to be on the team with that sort of deal, I'm okay with that. Justin Houston can go. DeMarcus Robinson can go. All these guys, I think I'm okay parting ways with. Tyler Huntley, probably. I mean, I think we can find someone else. If not, whatever. I'm not sure, actually. Let's just keep it moving. I think that we did everything that we need to do. I think that we should, work with free agents. And these will be the free agents we go after. I'm pretty sure I mean, I don't know what I do with Eli. I can't remember if it was a 1-year, 2-year deal. I can't remember which one of the two. Sterling Shepard and Nate Davis to come in and play for us. A couple of vets and then, some others. But bring in Nate Davis. Sterling Shepard has another offer from the Seahawks. I'm not too worried about it. If we don't get him, it's no biggie. But we did end up getting him. And now all we're waiting on is Eli Apple, who will sign as well, just as a corner, just in case we need one next season to play in for anyone. And that would be it. And now we're going to make our way to the draft, where we're going to look at our picks and kind of, make some calculated decisions. So at 1-1 here, I'd expect Will Anderson to probably go off the board. Obviously, some guys have moved up and down. Bryce Young originally started at number 2. But, I mean, they have Justin Fields. I don't think that they'd go with really anybody else. And I don't think... Oh, whoa, that is a big pick. Reaching down to Tyree Wilson, perhaps some of the biggest upside in the class. Bryce Young then goes at 2. Will Anderson falls to 3. And I might see a CJ Stroud. Jalen Carter. Okay, this might be a CJ Stroud landing spot. No, CJ Stroud is still on the board, if I'm not mistaken, right? So is CJ Stroud still falling? I mean, is it bold to move up here with the Lions? Try to get a quarterback of the future. I don't know. Will they even go quarterback here? They might. They go Christian Gonzalez, and here's a quarterback needy spot maybe. They go Brian Brzee. Quarterback keeps falling. CJ Stroud finally off the board. Will Levis is probably next to quarterback to go. Cam Smith goes. Don't need a quarterback there. And here is probably where a Will Levis spot would be to go here. But I'm not sure if I want to trade up. I'm not sure. Pick number 12 with the Carolina Panthers. Will Levis is ready to go. What other quarterbacks are in this class? Hendon Hooker, Anthony Richardson down the board. If we want to develop him necessarily, I mean, it'd be a tough thing to do. But yeah, I guess let's just let him do them. Bijan Robinson, Osiris Torrance off the board. Quentin Johnston goes off the board. Isaiah Foskey, Michael Mayer, and then Peter Skoronski. And then right here, they go Broderick Jones. And then this is like a Will Levis landing spot right here. This is 3 picks above ours. What I'm going to do, we're going to trade up. That's what we're going to do. We're going to trade up. And this one comes with a price right here. I mean, we're trading Rashad Bateman, who is a promising receiver. But that's the only way we can get this deal done. I really wanted a second-round pick, considering we don't have any. Trading a next-year third, moving up 3 spots, also getting a second is pretty nice. And I think that the receiver is a fluid position. I think that we can move through it. The addition of Sterling Shepard as well. And we're about to fix our quarterback situation, bringing in Will Levis here. He's not the fastest. He's not going to really fit our initial system. But we bring in Will Levis to help us out in the passing game. Helps tremendously. And into our pick in the second round here, we pick at number 20. Is there anybody worth the time here? Cedric Tillman I like. Down the board a little bit. Jack Campbell doesn't really fit what we need at the moment. Brandon Joseph is here. Yeah, and forget that little freaking origin thing, dude. I hate that that's there. There's nothing I can really do about it to this point. Darnell Wright's here, high upside guy. We just don't really need tackle. What I'm looking for right now is probably a corner like Garrett Williams or even Tony Grimes down the board, or wide receiver anywhere near Max Melton. So I think that this will be the spot for a cornerback. I think Garrett Williams, 6 foot, 198. 22 years old, out of Syracuse, has good coverages, does what he needs to do. 4.42 speed's not bad, with a lot of good, upside and whatnot. So Garrett Williams off the board here. I'm happy with that. Down the board, Xavier Hutchinson's here. I do like the upside with Xavier here. I think I'd only take like a wide receiver. I think Puka down the board could also be someone. Trey Palmer, Jermaine Burton still around. But I think just Xavier Hutchinson brings what we need and what we lost with Rashad Bateman, which is just kind of a bigger body. How tall is he? 6'3", 205. Plays well in the slot. He runs a 4.42. Just runs really good routes. Probably not the best hands, but I'm really excited to see what Xavier Hutchinson can do. Only 73 jumping. I probably need to fix that a little bit. Very good stuff there in the third round. I think we're getting tremendous value with Xavier Hutchinson, just considering our situation with the loss of Rashad Bateman. Then we now skip to the back end of the 4th round here, and we will try to take someone of value, whether that is Riley Moss or, I mean, another corner could even help us here in this spot, or another wide receiver could even help us. Kayvon Merriweather this far down the board. Just don't need a safety. I think the right thing to do to take one of these corners, whether it's Jacorian Bennett, Jalen Jones, or Riley Moss. I'm really looking for height and whatnot, and Riley Moss can develop over time. It's not the fastest guy. I'm pretty sure he's Iowa. Was he? Yeah, Iowa. Yeah, like I said, not really the fastest. Can't get up. Doesn't really recognize plays that well. We'll go with Riley Moss down the board. Hidden development, good down the board. Value here in the 4th round. Now let's see if there's anything left for us in the 5th round to take. Just for us. And Kayvon Merriweather just goes off the board. Probably would have been my pick. Just best player available at that point. Ryan Hayes is here with F awareness. Probably not my guy. Caillou Blue Kelly. Asim Richards is here. He's got a couple of good ratings, actually. The rest are kind of up for grabs, so we'll just go with Asim Richards. I'm sure he's not that great, so I'll let the CPU really take care of the rest. Go ahead and look at the overalls here. Will Levis had a 71 overall. Someone that's just going to have to develop over time. Garrett Williams was a 74. I didn't even know that. Xavier Hutchinson in the 3rd round, back end. We got 72 overall receiver, Riley Moss. And then Asim Richards, Isaac O'Neal. Yeah, good stuff there. I don't mind that at all. Round 1, we got that. But, yeah, I mean, it's a good class. We bring in the quarterback of the future. Trade up to number 19 for him. I mean, hopefully he's the quarterback of the future. We'll see what he can do. Probably change playbooks. Probably need to. Probably won't play well in the ones that we have on. So we'll see. I'll see you guys at mid-season, pretty much, is what I'm trying to say. And there's actually one thing I forgot to do, and that was change the system. So Will Levis probably not having the best season, and I'm guessing, yeah, having a lot of yards on the ground. And how many fumbles? 0, actually. Okay, that's interesting. But 3 rushing touchdowns. Gus Bus has 5. Receiving wise, though, Devin Duvernay, Sterling Shepard, Mark Andrews, and Xavier Hutchinson all putting in some work. All has similar amount of touchdowns. Defensively around, you know, tackles wise, Patrick Queen and Roquan kind of doing their thing. TFLs, Michael Pierce getting in the backfield. Not many sacks going around. Tyus Bowser, Odafe Owe, Roquan doing his little bit, but interception-wise, 3 from Roquan, 2 from Patrick Queen. Our linebackers are definitely getting some production, but I think that if we switch the scheme, I'm not quite sure who will whose you know, offense will switch to. Defense, we're gonna have to switch as well. I'm not sure. Just I mean, KC would work because of how good Mark Andrews is, so it'd be interesting to see how that would work. I'll figure it out, but. Here this year we have Patrick Queen to extend, and if he doesn't want to come on for this, it's not going to be like a big deal. I would give him more money, so it doesn't really matter. I might trade Chuck Clark at this point. Nobody really has any interest in coming back, so that sucks. Might make a few trades, maybe a trade or 2 here at the deadline. Probably want to, you know, negotiate here with Madubuike. Probably go to 6 and then 4. I mean, if he comes back, he comes back, right? So that's good, but we're starting to run low on money. Probably look for a bundle. Chuck Clark and Duvernay maybe together can get us something. Done deal. It's a future 7. Chuck Clark, Devin Duvernay across for Elijah Mitchell. We will eventually need a replacement at running back. I do not intend on extending either of our running back, or running backs, and then we acquire a 3rd round pick, I think, this year as well. And national focus probably moves to wide receiver now, just because we have such a short, with such a we don't have many. So I made a few things to make David Ajabo play a little bit more, change the scheme as well, and I was debating moving to a 4-3. It just kind of fits a little bit better, and we'd be able to map out our players a lot more. But it is what it is at this point. We'll finish this season, probably make a few adjustments, and then continue on with the draft and whatnot the whole offseason and get ready for year number 2. Because I don't really feel like this is going to be a year where we really make a run. But I guess we'll have to see, right? The end of the season's coming up. Yeah, we go 7-10. Wasn't really our best attempt at it. Xavier Hutchinson has 3 upgrades. That's good news, meaning he probably has a higher dev trait as well. Let's go actually look at all the dev traits we have. Probably Will Levis has star. I know that. We saw that. Xavier Hutchinson. That's right. I did give him a superstar. Defensively, anybody doing anything? Yeah, David Ajabo I put at the right end spot. So we'll see what sort of second half he put up, or second half season he put up. I mean, all this stuff through here as well looks good. League stats right here. Will Levis, 4,000 yards passing, only 23 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. Very rookie-esque. And Elijah Mitchell actually did average 0.1 more yards per carry than J.K. Dobbins, but we're definitely in the market for a running back. Sterling Shepard, the only receiver over 1,000 yards. Mark Andrews doing fine as well. Xavier with 130. Defensively, Roquan getting up there in tackles. TFLs, Tyus Bowser did really well this season for our team. Dafe Owe with 6 sacks isn't bad. Roquan with 4. Justin Madubuike with 4. 3 from Malik Harrison, which is weird. So, curious there about that. And just a few things that went around. Interceptions, Roquan and Patrick Queen both doing their thing. Eli Apple ended up snagging one in his first year as a Raven. I don't remember. No, he's pretty much done after this season, I think. See, there's people in free agency, but here's the thing. Nobody has any interest anywhere. Cam Akers is interesting. He's kind of the same type of guy as Elijah Mitchell, only one overall higher. Probably won't consider him. Cordell Patterson or like a CEH type of guy. If they had like Nyheim Hines, actually, hold up. Want to add Nyheim Hines, like 2 years. I like that deal. Very team friendly. We'll be moving on from him soon as well. Just kind of helps, you know, whatever is the quarterback I brought in. I can't remember his name. Give a whatever. Give him a weapon or two. Quez Watkins has plenty of speed. Tylan Wallace is your third receiver on roster. Still looking for that true wide receiver 1. And I don't think we're going to actually find that with Quez. So I'm not really going to like go down and like really work on a contract with him. I just don't think it's worth it. Noah Brown is here. Tall receiver. Dwayne Eskridge. Nobody really strikes my interest right now at wide receiver. I think I'll hold off on that. At left tackle, probably don't need offensive line. Maybe a tackle, just because of Morgan Moses is aging. He's 33 to this point. Daniel Falele probably can't come in and play, but he's had a 68 overall. I'm not sure if he's really worth the role. So these will be my offers. I'm giving Mekhi Becton a huge contract, but it's well worth it. At only 25 years old as well. Bryce Hall will have an offer on, and Nyheim Hines. You guys saw that. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can swing and, not miss my signings. We already got both these guys, and I can almost guarantee you we get Bryce Hall, and we do. So we're all good, and headed into the draft, we'll look for some good prospects, probably some sort of wide receiver. Even if we have to trade up for one, I really wouldn't mind it, although we went 7 and 10, so not really going to have a higher pick, but, somewhat easier to negotiate with. So we actually have the 8th overall pick, and we don't really actually see any good prospects towards the top of the board here. Nobody that I would really consider taking until, down the board here with Brian Gross. So with Brian Gross there, and probably a few guys down the board, Jaden Finley even, feel like looks good at defensive tackle. I think that we could definitely use one, but I'm not even worried. I mean, look at the prospects down the board. There's still some good value. It's not like all of them are bad. You just kind of have to find that right spot for, the right players in the right time. So, yeah, I think we will just, go to number, I don't know, actually. We might actually have to trade up for Brian Gross. Weeks goes off the board, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, Cummins, and then Clayton. And then here, they don't really need a wide receiver. And then here's a place that might need a receiver. And so we'll just go ahead and take the courtesy and just trade up one instead of risking it, because I really like the way that Brian Gross looks. Done deal. It's 2-6 to 6 this year and next year, just to move up the 1 spot. I like our luck right there. Or not our luck, but I like our move right there. And I like the option to take Brian Gross here. I'm going to be honest, 5'10", not exactly the type of guy, but runs a 4.27. I freaking love that. Just seems to be like a really, really, really good prospect. So Brian Gross will come in. I'm not going to say he's going to be our wide receiver 1, but definitely a dynamic player that I'd love to get involved. So this guy right here, Scott Brewer, is 6'3", 304, could definitely play a defensive tackle, especially with A, block shedding. I'm okay with that. B, tackling. Really fits the role for a defensive tackle for us. Good for the spot, in my opinion. I'd be more than happy to take a shot on him here. Also elite strength, so do like that. I feel like we should just trade Ronnie Stanley at this point, but we just don't have a good enough backup tackle that I'm okay putting there. And I was thinking about maybe drafting one, but there was just no good ones at the spots we were drafting at. If I find one, I might consider trading up, but I think Ronnie Stanley is definitely on the trading block. One thing I did notice with this class as well is there's a lot of great interior guys along with just edges. I mean, there's so many great players in this class, along with like there's down the board, there's a lot of good cornerbacks as well. So just something to note is that these draft classes are getting really deep. And I honestly did not expect this to go through, but it did. We get DK Metcalf, Charles Cross for the 3rd round, and Ronnie Stanley. I'm very happy with this right here. We get a lot younger. at left tackle with Charles Cross. We will have to pay him somewhat soon, and then we bring on DK Metcalf, which also comes with like a huge price, obviously, and we still have to keep our quarterback. The guy we took, who was it? Why am I struggling on Will Levis? Okay, we still have to extend Will Levis in this sometime in the future, so we'll see how good he is by then, and maybe make our decision off of that. Junior Gates, even though we just made a huge draft trade, I mean, Junior Gates could come in and play, but I don't really see a reason to. And so Brian Gross was a 77 overall, Scott Brewer was a 72, and Brian Porter, someone we took in the 4th round, was a 70 overall. So happy with all of our picks here, honestly. Brian Gross should come in and be immediately great. So if we have the dynamic with, well, I guess after Sterling Shepard leaves, it'll be DK Metcalf, Brian Gross, and Xavier Hutchinson, all very good players, and I think that we basically just solidified our wide receiving room. So after Tyus Bowser's career year, I just decided to move David Ajabo up into, that slot, just to see what we have with him. I think we're still building, despite how good the team may look. I think that we could still get a little bit better. Brewer will start at the edge spot along with Madubuike, all run stuffers. So if anything, we're going to need a good pass rushing defensive tackle. But I mean, our outside linebackers already do a good enough job at that we don't. It's not in desperate need. Off ball linebackers plus pass rushers. We got a good mix of both right here with Adafe and Ajabo. Bryce Hall to play that corner 2 spot, Garrett Williams and Riley Moss slowly but surely developing as that corner 4. I do want to move Garrett Williams though up into that number 2 spot, maybe eventually take over for Marlon when he's gone. Travis Jones will have to do at defensive tackle for okay, no, they're actually going to put okay, so that's why Ajabo did so well where he was at. So we'll have Owe, Bowser, and then these two in the interior. Those two there. Bryce Hall, we'll keep him in the slot. Xavier Hutchinson will play in the slot. And Nyheim Hines playing at 3rd down back. So I think the scheme and everything like that will work. Will Levis still working up to a 76 overall. Will continue to develop and hopefully get better and improve from his rookie year. Not the hottest start to the season, going 2-5. Probably have to change up some playbooks. I don't think it's really working out to what we need it to. A lot of big contracts up in question. One with Elijah Mitchell. Sterling Shepard can walk. Adafe Aowe still kind of developing well. Tyus Bowser in the trade market for sure. Just let Macari go. Michael Pierce, probably not someone I bring back. Ben Powers is replaceable, but would be nice to have. So just a couple of a few good contracts. So probably would spend quite a bit of money, but everybody should be playing great and well and whatnot. And I'm curious what is working and what isn't. Looking at the bottom of the screen right now, our offense isn't really working. So probably change the offense probably to Buffalo, or not Buffalo. Well, actually, maybe Buffalo, but Buccaneers and whatnot. But Will Levis cleaning up his game a lot more, improving here in his 2nd year. And that is showing. Then we got these guys right here doing their thing, splitting time, doing well. Not great, but well. Mark Andrews leads the team in receiving. Xavier Hutchinson right there. Sterling Shepard still playing a role. And DK Metcalf probably needs to be a little bit more involved than he is right now. With only 2 touchdowns as well is very disappointing. Defensively, 52 tackles is good. Kyle Hamilton's 2nd. Kind of forgot about him. Tackles for loss, Justin Madubuike doing what he has to do. Adafe Owe with 6.5 sacks at the midseason point. Just more reason to sign him back. Tyus Bowser and a 4th, I think, this year, and a 6th next year, just for a this year first. It works for me, honestly. It's good value. And Tyus Bowser really wasn't playing too big of a role anyways. Now I'm gonna, do all this and then negotiate some contracts. Ending up extending a few people, but not Ben Powers. Just too expensive for someone that I don't want. He's in an awkward age at 28. I just don't really want him. Despite being an 85 overall team, we go 5-12. Probably not our best showing or season in general. So it is what it is, right? We'll go ahead and actually look at the stats and awards. Will Levis on a much better season this year. 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns. Still up there in the interceptions, but that's still fine. Elijah Mitchell and Nyheim Hines both combined for over 1,000 yards. Receiving wise, Mark Andrews doing his thing. Xavier Hutchinson is still getting some of the shares. DK Metcalf still good. And Sterling Shepard both are doing his thing. Hopefully Brian Gross will step into that role next season. 12 touchdowns for Mark Andrews, by the way, as well. Defensively, Roquan Smith has a lot of tackles. TFL's Justin Madubuike was up there. Odafe Owe had 10 sacks. Justin Madubuike with 9. Devon Kennard somehow still playing, or somehow playing. Oh, because we traded Tyus Bowser, actually. Michael Pierce, Roquan Smith, Scott Brewer, and then Marlon Humphrey had 7 interceptions. Jiminy Christmas. I mean, I'm not sure what we're doing. I mean, we could look at the roster, see if we got any depth trade upgrades. It's very unlikely, but you know, we're looking at Brian Gross, Sterling Shepard, Xavier Hutchinson, Mark Andrews. Forgot we actually got Becton, by the way. Defensively, you know, some guys did better than others. Brewer is a star development player. I don't know what I really expected, though. So we've got some pretty good offers on Josh Sweat and Landon Dickerson. Stonehouse is kind of whatever, but Landon Dickerson, he's in a very, very tough situation here between us and Carolina. My opinion, he should just come here. Josh Sweat would be nice to have, and we don't get either, which sucks, because now we're without a future guard. I'm not going to bring back Ben Powers. Just 29 years old. Not going to work for me. So we'll look to the draft for that. But as far as defensive line goes, I feel like we were good, just improving with Josh Sweat. And he wasn't on too big of a deal anyways. Anyways, it's a done deal. Trading for a next year first, because I have no idea what to do with this 4th overall pick. It's not worth it. Acquiring a this year 2nd, getting rid of a next year 4th, Nyheim Hines, and then getting a wide receiver 4 for us ourselves. Jiminy Christmas, I cannot talk. We'll skip to my pick. There is a suitable guard at my spot that we're going to be picking for sure. He's almost 100% going to be there. And if he isn't, there's someone else there. I think he's left guard. No, okay, it is right guard. Both are still here. Both of them are good. I'm going to go with Tavares Dukes first. I might take them both, by the way, too. But he just looks good. Tavares Dukes, probably my favorite out of the two. But Morris Mule here, I mean, just still good as well. Actually, he has better ranges. Let's go with him first. I know it's really early to take him, but I have hope that he will do well. And then we pick very soon again. I'll pick the other guard, and then the other will be a good trade piece in a year or two. So that's okay. No really big issue with that. Just going down to right guard again, and then taking Tavares Dukes. And then now we have another one. And yeah, this one actually has hidden development as well. So we'll just take the better of the two, put them in our starting lineup, and then let the other one kind of develop behind him and see what we can get out of him. But here at number 11 in the 2nd round, we will look and see, you know, what sort of thing is here. And it is a tackle build for the future here as well. I wouldn't trust these, the ranges too much, so I'll just continue to keep moving it. Morgan Baker here is run type as a run stopper with, what is it, B? B power moves and C finesse moves. That's an absolute cop instantly. Just looks good, and nobody else actually looked good. And to be as stupid as I can be, I was gonna let the CPU take this pick right here, but I will instead and look for a good player. But we'll see all the overalls in just a second. And these are all the overalls here. Cool is fine. Tavares Dukes is a lot better, with better development as well. But good stuff here from our guards. Or I guess both guards are good. Morgan Baker, the defensive tackle we took, was a 71. And then early in the 3rd round, we picked a 73 overall better development, Dom James. I'm still not sure if Will Levis is our guy. Obviously, he's got to be up there in contention, but he's still good. Gross, I want playing the number 3. We brought in Mingo, of course, but I wanted to play the number 3 spot because at specialist, Xavier Hutchinson just plays the slot anyways. We only have Elijah Mitchell, could use an upgrade. David Ajabo will be rushing the quarterback for the first time, I think, this season. So Odafe Owe, Bryce Hall, Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen. So we got a good defense and offense. I put on different playbooks, so now it's time to see what we can do and how good we can do it. Start off kind of rocky, all things considered. At 3 and 4, Justin Fields is throwing for the most in the league. Are you kidding? Will Levis throwing for the 6th most in the league, though. 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns only. but only 3 interceptions, so seems to be cleaning up his game just fine. Elijah Mitchell finally gets the keys to this offense and starts going ham, getting nearly 5 per carry, 10 touchdowns early, and then receiving DK Metcalf doing what he has to do. Xavier Hutchinson still playing well. Mark Andrews and Brian Gross all getting reps. Defensively, a lot of tackles coming from Roquan Smith. TFLs all around here. David Ajabo with 5. Only 1 sack, though. I was hoping for a little bit more than that. And, yeah, no sack production whatsoever. Interception, Kyle Hamilton leads the team with 2. But, oh my goodness, a lot of people with 1. So, good start to the season. Probably will have to negotiate with a couple of people. And choose the scouting focus and upgrade players. Probably should look at the rookies to see if their dev traits are released now. Or I guess not released, but are showing up now. Because you can't see them for the first 500 snaps, and then they just appear. So you get to see what you're working with here. Nothing here on offense. Defensively, could get lucky with one of these guys right here, Don James or Baker, but it doesn't look like we'll be that lucky with them. So I'll get on to working with the contracts now. I mean, I'm curious who we have to deal with. And then I'll pick the national scouting focus for sure. We've got a lot of money, but Mark Andrews is first come, first serve. Doesn't want a big salary, but I mean, I'd be more than willing. So get paid like, whoa, not considering shorter deals. Okay, buddy. That's all you got to say. DK Metcalf up for extension at 27 years old. I'm happy to keep him for very long term. Has good interest in the team, and I think that will do it for him. Just to bring him on for that. Cody Ford, I'm fine leaving behind. Tyler Linderbaum, obviously, when I come back. I want him to come back, is what I'm trying to say. This deal should. No? Okay, well, of course not. This game could never make it easy on you. Charles Cross here. We'll have to pay him quite a pretty penny to stay with the team. And he said that he could find that in free agency. I'm sick of this game, dude. Don't need to bring back Bryce Hall. Kyle Hamilton with no interest is interesting. David Ajabo, man, there are so many here that I need to re-sign with. I'll do this on my spare time. And it's a done deal. I brought in Anton Harrison so we don't have to replace Charles Cross, or so we can replace Charles Cross and just let him go, trading Bryce Hall and Travis Jones across for another first-round pick. We'll have 3 this upcoming season, and Anton Harrison, so I feel happy with that. It's fine at the deadline. Move to a 4-3 mid-season, probably not the smartest move or realistic move, but something I felt had to be done. I'm going to move Don James up just because he has a higher ceiling than Riley Moss to this point, meaning he will not play the slot corner anymore. It'll actually be Don James. And then offensively, we look good. I just changed schemes again. I think we're going to try to keep it this way and build around the scheme instead of trying to build and then change the scheme to fit the build, if you know what I'm saying. Did bring back quite a few people in the contract talks in the works with a few people. Brought back most of the important people. We're going to get rid of Charles Cross. Michael Pierce is going to be gone. Daniel Falalele will also be gone. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So pretty big class from us leaving. And then just extended a bunch of people anyways. So we'll make it, we'll sim the last half of the season here, see how we do. If you guys caught that, Steelers are 7-1. So we finished 6-11, just yet again another bad season, but hopefully can clean it up next year. Will Levis throwing, pretty well. 27 touchdowns isn't the greatest with only 9 interceptions though. 4,800 yards is good, but rushing, Elijah Mitchell started to get a little bit less reps as the season went on. Still rushed for 4 per carry, which is still great. DK Metcalf almost 1,500 yards. Brian Gross and Xavier Hutchinson still getting fair use as well. Mark Andrews still doing his role and being highly involved. 171 tackles for Roquan Smith. Tackles for loss to go around for sure. Scott Brewer stepped into a role this year and now is playing well. Just about a week with 5 sacks, leads the team. We're going to need an elite edge rusher at one point. Or even a pass rusher from the interior of the defensive line would work. But see who's there, through the draft and through the offseason process. Just targeting Devon Hamilton and Isaiah Pacheco in this whole, ordeal here. Did get Devon Hamilton. Probably won't get Pacheco if I had to guess. And yeah, probably not anymore. I will look for another one though. Elijah Mitchell is getting older. There is Rashad Penny. Alvin Kamara to come in and play for us wouldn't be the worst thing ever. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we'll just keep it as is. I don't think we need to mess with the running backs. too much. I think we'll know when something comes along. Grady Jarrett was here. He was. I was thinking about it, but just wasn't too interested with the team, and I wasn't interested in making a long-term deal with a 33-year-old anyways. So in this draft, we actually pick at number 6, 23, and 24. I'm not exactly sure who I want or what I'm looking for. Like I've said, though, I want an elite pass rusher, someone that could rush the passer from the inside, and I just don't see that right here. I mean, maybe this guy. No, he's a run stopper. I will continue to look, but I mean, no one really strikes my interest like this. We could just trade for one. We do have 3 first-round picks after all, right? So I wouldn't mind, making a move. There's a lot of good players down the board, like late in the first round. So I'm probably gonna trade my number 6 overall pick. Maybe look for our running back plus a good player. Number 6 holds quite a bit of value in Madden. Especially with this draft class, or I guess especially with these draft classes. I'm not sure why, but it just does. So maybe make a deal with someone and giving up, quite a bit. I think that we can finally, Morris Kuhl can finally get out of here. Scott Brewer, I mean, I don't mind that. I like the players we have. Roquan's still really good. Probably just need some good players. Oh my god, this would have been the best trade ever for us. We would have gotten Dexter Lawrence. Apparently this will put him over the cap. I'm not sure how exactly. It doesn't make sense. It would not put them... They actually have 0. And if they give away a big contract, that means they should... Man, I hate this game. Done freaking deal. First next year, first this year, and then another first this year, which is really no biggie. Breece Hall, Quinnen Williams, and a second this year as well. So, if you ask me, it's absolute steal to get Quinnen Williams and Breece Hall onto this team. That's fair. I'm fine to skip up to my pick, take whoever I need. I'll visit you guys with overalls. I mean, it's just going to be a bunch of best player available picks. And I think we did a really good job in the draft. I'm curious what the overalls look like, but dev trait-wise, it was awesome. So it'll be very, yeah, we did. Okay, so 76 overall, 76 overall, 72 overall, and 72 overall. Very, very, very good stuff from us here in this right here. We don't really need a strong safety. We don't really need a wide receiver. Once again, we don't really need a wide receiver. And once again, we don't really need a center. Like I said, a lot of best player available. And a lot of guys look good down the board. Thought I'd snag them all up. They'll either play into a role or they will... be traded away later. But the addition of Quinnen Williams really changes the dynamic of the team instantly, right away, no doubt. So I think that we are instant contenders no matter what. So Will Levis is good, right? Xavier Hutchinson's still here. Gross is still here. Clark, now we have Gallery. We've got a lot of guys doing a lot of different things. Probably could negotiate a few different contracts around and then maybe not. And but the position of really like that we really need, I'm okay with a Dafe Owe on one side, right? But I want another good like Max Crosby type player. I feel like that'd be good. And then we're gonna need someone else somewhere else, because I mean this defensive line doesn't really fit the Baltimore scheme. So we're gonna continue to develop Brewer, but I wouldn't be surprised if we can replace Matabuike pretty easily, all things considered here. Probably going to need a corner somewhat soon again, too. I mean, this guy is just good. Don James will be here, but Marlon Humphrey's getting older. Probably could use like a corner one type of deal, like an 85 overall sort of player. We don't really need whatever his name is, Elijah Mitchell at this point in time, because now we have Breece Hall and then Brian Porter behind him. So team looks really good. It's just whether or not we can put it all together. And I think we have a good chance. See, we start off 4-3, still last in the division somehow, having a very good season all around. Our whole division, really. Joe Burrow leading the league in passing yards, and Will Levis is 12th. Kind of a step down from where we've seen him before, but interception to touchdown ratio is really good. Rushing, Breece Hall is coming in and rushing very well. Receiving-wise, a lot of guys getting used, a lot of guys involved, and I like that part of our offense for sure. Defensively, Roquan Smith doing his thing. TFL is all around with 7.5 sacks from Quinnen Williams. We're finally getting some of that pass rush that we've probably been needing. Patrick Queen was 3 interceptions. Other middle linebacker with, 2. Roquan Smith. And then Kyle Hamilton's still playing his role. So, yeah, I mean, happy with how things are going right now for sure. But it's just whether or not we can finish the season like this. I'm pretty sure we have to extend maybe Will Levis here in a second, I guess is what I'm trying to squeeze out here. We have Will Levis is right here. He doesn't have too much interest, and he's going to be worth a lot of money. I want to make him, a paid guy, but not like, dude, I hate spending this much money on Will Levis when we have so many other, contracts to negotiate with. Will Levis is good. Don't get me wrong. 82 overall is not bad. But just look at everybody else we have to negotiate with here. Quinnen Williams, I want back. Marlon Humphrey can go. Marcus Williams can go. Garrett Williams has to stay. Xavier Hutchinson, Anton Harrison, Riley Moss, Mingo. It probably ends there. So a lot of money we have to deal out. And if we start with Will Levis, it's going to be tough. I'm not going to lie. It would help if some of these guys actually had interest in the team. Because offering Quinnen Williams a big contract sucks when he doesn't have interest in the damn team. And Xavier Hutchinson, I want him back. Obviously, not that much interest in the team. If he wants to come on for this, that'd be great. He does. So he's here. He's back. He's doing his thing. Anton Harrison we have to negotiate with at week 9. Riley Moss in week 9. And those are the only two with the standing offer on Quinnen Williams. See, I would trade Marcus Williams here at safety, but he's just too important to a run if we're ever going to have one. Also, Marlon Humphrey would be worth so much right now, but I'm not going to trade him when we're on such a good season so far, a good start to the season. That's what kind of sucks right now is we would be able to make big profit off of those guys, at least one of them. I was considering Marcus Williams the most, but it is what it is. Couldn't get back Anton Harrison. Don't have enough money, even close to enough money to sign back Marlon Humphrey or Marcus Williams. So it's a very rough time right now. We're kind of hitting a barrier with money and age and performance. So we'll see what we can what sort of result we come out of this season with. Maybe make the playoffs for the first time. We don't. We finished 7-10. We're just such a good division that it is very tough to win consistently win games all season long. So it really does suck. It really does. Marlon Humphrey doing his thing, but I mean, it's just so tough. This whole rebuild has sucked. Very good season from Will Levis on his contract year, throwing for nearly 4,800 yards, 45 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Breece Hall was just fine. He's not great, but just fine. DK, Xavier Hutchinson, both over 1,000. Mark Andrews was close, and Brian Gross still being used somewhat. And then 3 guys over 100 tackles, TFLs all over the place. Quinnen Williams finally getting some pass rush, like I said, 13 sacks. And then interceptions, Patrick Queen leads the team once again. Very good and very consistent at doing that. It kind of does make me, think, what if he was like that in real life? Look at Bijan at the top of the list right here with A.J. Brown right here. But Bijan at 26 years old, what an addition that would be to this team. He's not priceless, that's for sure. He's worth a lot of money, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm just not looking to add him right now. Bryce Young is here, C.J. Stroud. Both make their way to free agency. Curious how much Bryce Young's going for. Wow. Jiminy Christmas. I'm fine with Will Levis, who has developed to just be, I mean, the same overall as Bryce Young, and 3 overalls higher than C.J. Stroud. So, I mean, I'm happy with what we've done. Carbonet's here. Blake Corum, to this point, he is here as well. I'm not sure if it's Carbonet or Carbonet, but going after Jalen Carter, which would be absolutely insane. I do not expect to get him. Anton Harrison, just because he has no other offers. And Christian Gonzalez would also be kind of bizarre to get, any of these guys. I don't think that we're literally getting any of them as predicted. We didn't. And Anton Harrison just worth a lot of money. I'm fine letting it be. If we are chosen to be his team, so be it. But yeah, at this point, there's just no way that we bring in any of those guys. I'll look for any leftovers, but don't expect too much. They can't keep doing this to me. This guy looks like an absolute stud and a half. Carl Gore here, along with great speed and a Hall of Fame name. I can't resist taking this guy. All right, like, leave me alone. This guy's actually crazy. I'm gonna take him. And what's the overall? The guy 73, which is really good for like top of the second round. And then the rest were kind of just bums, but I mean, it's not bad. Probably gonna have to make a trade or two by the time the season's over to even be remotely good. I mean, this has been an absolutely atrocious fail of a rebuild so far. So the team right now looks like this. Will Levis up to superstar development. Gross is still here. Clark is still here. Gore is now here. Gallery still hanging around as well. Mark Andrews, Breece Hall. A good defensive line. We're going to need a tackle. I didn't realize that. We'll go out and make a move for one. And then I'll move Beckwith. I think his speed was good to free safety here. Coverages are good as well. So, yeah, he can go over to free safety, and I'll be fine with that. Done deal. We swapped third-round picks, got Alontae Taylor and Wolf as a left tackle. Just trading some spare pieces around and hopefully improving our third-round pick, actually. All right, well, I'm pretty much done at this point, man. This is going to be the last season on this pace, bro. We're 2-4. I don't know what to tell you guys, man. This is just impossible. To build a good performing team in Madden, it's got to be the worst thing ever. I'm not even sure like how to make it work, man. It's so annoying. You build such a good team and it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't. Will Levis throwing for a good season isn't that surprising now. Brian Gross, our leading receiver, that's kind of surprising. DK Metcalf starting to fall off. To be honest, I kind of forgot we had him. Tackles, Patrick Queen taking the reins there. Sacks as well, just Madubuike leading, and Quinnen Williams for doing virtually nothing. Man, this is a little bit rough, man. I don't know what's going on. Not even gonna look at the breakout receiver. I don't care to at this point, man. It's just so annoying that we can continue to do good things and then keep getting bad results. I want Roquan. Give me him till he's 35 here. I'm fine with that. Even though this is probably going to be the last, like, 2 years of the rebuild, maybe. I don't care. He's pretty much just done here. Brian Gross finally starting to perform, but we're going to have to let him go, sadly. Don't feel like wasting money on him. Everybody else is pretty much as good as gone. And then I want to do, like, a full rebuild this offseason here. Make a lot of trades, draft well, and whatnot. I think that would probably be the best thing for the team to this point. Finished season 8 and 9, so we might be onto something here in the second half of this season. I might want to, negotiate with some contracts. Will Levis over 5,000 yards passing is really nice. Only 31 touchdowns with a lot of interceptions too. Not really worthy of a good season. A lot of receivers did a lot. Chris Clark gonna get involved next year. I can guarantee that. Mark Andrews kind of working out a date. Not even gonna lie. Xavier Hutchinson has somehow stayed, reliable through this whole thing so far. So good, or I guess so far so good. Patrick Green, 153 tackles. Talk about a breakout season. 12 TFLs, 5 sacks. Doesn't quite lead the team. Adafe Owe and Quinnen Williams lead that category. Justin Madubuike and then Patrick Queen got more than just Devon Hamilton and more than Roquan. And then 3 interceptions here for Garrett Williams and Kyle Hamilton. 4 for Roquan, and then just 1 for Riley Moss, Beckwith, Dom James, and Patrick Queen. And we have Chris Jones, Logan Wilson, Christian Fulton, Gio Merritt, and Joe Whitehead, all looking to become Ravens. And did we just get all 5 of them? 1, 2, 3, and 4? So we didn't actually end up getting 1. I can't tell you who it was. It was Chris Jones. So that's kind of a big miss out. I was really hoping for it, but Jaden Finley here will have to do just fine. I mean, nothing's really wrong with the guy. Just give him a massive contract considering, just how much we have left. Really, how much money we have left. And we did bring in Jaden Finley now. So, looking good. So, this is kind of the new look team right here. Christian Fulton came in. Garrett Williams, Riley Moss is still here. Don James, Alontae Taylor. Kyle Hamilton's really good. Logan Wilson will play, outside linebacker, but he probably will play that sub linebacker spot with Roquan Smith. So that's a good little system we got going there with David Ojabo backing him up. We're really weak at free safety with Beckwith. So we can upgrade there. Offensive line's pretty stellar. Receiver, I hate to say this, but we're a little bit thin at. And Gore actually does have superstar development, but could use a big number 2 guy. We've got the money to go all in and draft picks, so I'm not scared to spend money and or make some aggressive trades. And nobody here really looks that great, like around my pick, which is number 14. So I'm gonna go ahead and trade away. Done deal. Number 14, Gallery and backup center that we drafted a few years back gets us an absolute stud free safety, giving us Beckwith to trade with. So we'll trade away Aaron, Beckwith, and any other like pieces that are kind of just laying around. There's not a whole lot of those. I'm gonna be honest. There's just not. I mean, maybe Baker if he wants to, you know, leave us. That's just fine here. I just don't know what we could use other than another, you know, whatever you want to call it, another corner. So I think if we could trade Riley Moss, if we could turn these 3 guys into a good corner, I think that we're pretty much, you know, chilling. Done deal. Actually, a 3rd Riley Moss and Baker will go ahead and get us Trent McDuffie, actually pretty easily. So that kind of worked out for us nicely from the Jets. So now our cornerback room looks that much better. Trent McDuffie 1, Garrett Williams 2, Fulton at 3, then Dom James to play any reliever, you know, if anyone's suffering with stamina, and then Kendrick Armstrong, and then strong safety there. So Beckwith, and then this 2nd round pick, and then this wide receiver, Chris Clark, will all be traded away probably for a really good wide receiver number 2. Done deal. Actually, a next year 3rd, Clark, Beckwith will all get me Elijah Moore. And if I need to fill any more holes, I've got the 2nd round pick to do it for sure. 2nd round pick. I don't like this draft class at all. Make that known to all the GMs. And now I can go ahead and make a trade for someone that I might want to trade for. Done deal. That 2nd round pick, Alontae Taylor and Odafe Owe will get me Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins. And that'll be it for my trades. And I'm done with this draft class as well. Look at the team now with everybody put together. This team's really not that great. It says we have like an 84 overall defense and an 86 overall offense. It's like, it's a lot better than that, especially with Will Levis under center at 86 overall, Hutchinson, Elijah Moore, Gore, Andrews, this offensive line stellar. And then defensively, don't even get me started. I mean, what's bad about this? I mean, Jalen Phillips also comes in to be a better rush end. So our defensive line literally looks kind of unstoppable with Quinnen Williams, Jalen Phillips, Brewer, probably should be rushing one of the edges, I'm not gonna lie. Logan Wilson, Roquan Smith, and then I'll play Christian Fulton in the slot. I think it's just a little bit better. Xavier Hutchinson will stay in that slot role. Breece Hall, 3rd down, and then power back will be Breece Hall as well. So a lot of good stuff here from this team, and especially now with Trent McDuffie as our new cornerback number 1. Really invested in this season to be the final season, and we'll see if we can make a run. Not the start we were looking for. Going 3-4 isn't that great. I'm not even going to look at the contracts ready to negotiate this season because it might make me want to do another one, and there's just no way I'm willing to do another one. A lot of people with upgrades here, a lot of great players with upgrades. But, I mean, we're going to look at the stats here. At the bottom of your screen, offense isn't doing great. Defense is kind of middle of the pack. Anthony Richardson is throwing for the 3rd most yards in the league right now, by the way, too. Wonder where he's playing, but Will Levis starting very slow, especially with 10 interceptions is just way too much. Breece Hall, and then receiving wise, DK Metcalf, Elijah Moore, Mark Andrews, and Xavier Hutchinson all being used, you know, not equally, but they're all just, you know, being used. Garrett Williams, Kyle Hamilton, Logan Wilson's pretty far down there, but with 6 TFLs, and then sack wise, Quinnen Williams leads the team. And then Roquan with 3, Joe Whitehead with 2.5, Logan Wilson there, Jalen Phillips. Really looked for him to play a little bit better than so far, but we saw what happened the 2nd half of last season, so we'll see if we can do that. But like I said, this is such a flop of a rebuild for sure. We haven't really gotten anywhere, and we actually do have a weekly award. I'm curious as to who it is. I'm guessing defensively, though, it is Kyle Hamilton with 1 interception and I guess a pick 6. Any other Baltimore Ravens? No, it's just Kyle Hamilton. That's interesting. I will look at the players ready to negotiate right now, though. I'm sure there's some pretty big names. If I had to guess, 75. Yeah, so we actually have Armstrong here, Elijah Moore, Mekhi Becton, Jalen Phillips. Yeah, it's just not going to work. If we go another season, we'd be an even worse team than we are right now, and we're still not making it work. So it really just doesn't make sense. Let's go to the playoffs, see if we can flip the script here in the 2nd half of the season and make some impact in the league. Boom, we finally make the freaking wild card. I don't expect us to win, but we freaking made it. This is an absolute win in my book. Going 9-8 on the season. Like I said, flipping the script in the 2nd half here. We are, you know, killing it right now, in my opinion. We are absolutely doing the thing that has to be done. All right. What did Will Levis end the season with? 5,100 yards, 31 touchdowns to 16 interceptions. cleaned up the second half. Brees Hall over 1,000 again. Receiving wise, DK Metcalf was great. Elijah Moore was there. Mark Andrew was close. Xavier Hutchinson over 800 yards. Defensively, 109 tackles for Roquan, a little bit less than we've seen in the past. Jalen Phillips leads the team with 15 TFLs. And then there's quite a bit of sack numbers here with 10.5. Jalen Phillips with 5, 5, 3.5, 3, and 3, 2. And then 3, 2, 2, 2 interceptions to go around with a few more people with just 1. So them doing their thing kind of works out, you know. Will Levis just consistently throwing for over 5,000 yards these last couple of seasons has been great. But the fact that he's 8th in the league, what did the top look like? 55, 55, and 53? I mean, it's crazy. We'll see if we can win against the Buffalo Bills here in the wild card. I don't think we will, and we don't. That's fine. That'll be it for me. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like. Also consider subscribing. Both of them are free, and both of them can be undone at any time if you guys want or need to do that. So, yeah, that'll be it. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time.